Alright guys, welcome to another one of my favorite recipes and style of cooking. This one is especially quick and easy, a true 15-minute meal, as we're going to go with a little bit of fried rice. So we're going to start our pan off on high, just a dash of oil. You really don't need too much, especially since we're using pork today. Now you could get plain ground pork. I went with a sweet Italian pork sausage here because that's what they had. They didn't have just a plain pork sausage. You could do spicy Italian too, but as I mentioned a couple times, not everybody goes for spicy in my house. Now really what this dish is designed to do is be a leftovers user. So quite often what I'll do this dish with is leftover cooked chicken or leftover cooked shrimp, sometimes even leftover salmon or other beef. Be fantastic in here. You could even do this with some like tofu or tempeh. If we're gonna go with more of a vegetarian, vegan option, would be just fine. But always using leftover rice is the way. Leftover rice really is the best way to do fried rice. Now, as we're getting that going, which is our pork, and we're gonna start to brown it off. Obviously, if you had leftover cooked chicken or you're using frozen chicken strips, it'd be even faster. So the other two things that we're going to add to our pork as it's starting up to go here is ginger and garlic. Now I mentioned in my meal planner overview, they do have this ginger in a tube, which you certainly can use, and this is fresh ginger root. If they don't have that, a quick and easy tool to use to peel up a little bit of this fresh ginger, which is a super antioxidant rich food, is just a spoon, and it kind of scrapes the skin right off of your ginger here. And ginger is so cheap that if you get a little bit of the actual root off, it's no big deal. Like that ginger root right there probably cost me like $1.50 maybe even less than $1. I'm going to cut the tip off here, and I'm going to cut off that piece. You know, ginger adds such a bright and vibrant flavor to our dishes. I highly encourage you to get some. It's also great to add into beverages once you have some on hand. A little, whether it goes fresh into your tea. So I'll cut it into pieces about that thick. And then I'm going to cut these into matchsticks. And then I'm going to turn my matchsticks and cut it into a mince. So as you can see, you really don't want large chunks of ginger. You really want to take your time with this and mince up the ginger well, because it's such a flavorful and powerful bite. You get a hunk of ginger in there, it's could be unpleasant. Kind of like a spicy flavor you're gonna get there. That's where the ginger this is already minced in a tube, a useful product to have on hand. Not only that, it's gonna stay fresh for a really long time. All right, as we start to brown there, I'm gonna go ahead and flip that guy. Like I said, we got it on high. We're gonna start to break it up here a little bit. It'll cook even faster. Now, if I was using already cooked meat, or even if I was going with a quick cooking meat, like the shrimp we used for our Thai green curry, I would honestly start with the garlic and ginger and oil before I even add my meat, just to really give a chance for those aromatics to bloom. Alright, so fresh ginger is going to go in right now. Trust me, with the fresh ginger, adds such a great flavor and bite. And then some garlic. Trying to leave the water behind in these garlic. Pre-minced garlic jars, alright? And hear it sizzle. And then, again, just like you saw with the green curry stir fry I did yesterday, when I threw in leftover spinach, or if you have asparagus from earlier this week, if you got some peppers, if you got some mushrooms, all of those would go great in here. What I've got is carrots that I pulled out of the fridge yesterday. You can pull them out a couple hours ahead of time. As I've mentioned earlier in this week, I always have frozen vegetables in the freezer. I've got green beans, love peas and carrots in there, broccoli, cauliflower rice, stir fry mix, Brussels sprouts. But even though most of them are now microwave and bagged, I do not trust that BPAs and microplastics are not leaching into the bag when we heat them in the bag. So I almost never use the microwave and bag feature of those. I don't trust it, guys, and I don't think you should either. So, but no harm done if we don't heat it in the bag. It's the heating process that really allows those microplastics to become transferable and a higher risk. All right. There we go. Pork is most of the way cooked already. Got our leftover rice from the other day. So I'm going to set right there. While that's finishing up cooking, let's go ahead and crack our 2 eggs and get those whipped up. The egg really, egg is optional here, but I really love egg in my fried rice. So, get a little shell in there, just scoop it out. And I'll just show you real quick. It's kind of like a round motion you get when you whisk your eggs together real quick. And as you saw in the meal planner last week, when I did the breakfast scramble, and I literally just cracked the eggs right into the pan, you could do that with this dish too. All right. Now, one thing I want to point out as this is starting to come together here, just waiting for the pork to finish up quite all the way here. Smelling delicious. If you'll notice, the pan is quite full with meat and vegetables. And typically when you go, get fried rice at a restaurant, it's mostly rice with a very little bit of vegetables and meat in it. I like to flip the script on that, and we go heavy on the protein, right? We like to prioritize protein and heavy on the antioxidant and fiber-rich vegetables and a little bit lighter on the rice. So about 2 handfuls or 2 cups worth of leftover rice will pop in there. Alright. Now, using leftover and cold rice in our fried rice allows it to just break up a lot easier and not get clumpy and mushy on you. If you use fresh rice that is just cooked, it's gonna be a little mushy and clumpy. Using cold leftover rice is what allows it to assimilate into the dish a lot more easily. But we're gonna chop it up a little bit as we go. All right, a little toss-a-rooney. Now right here, we're gonna add our 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. I use organic tamari. Tamari is a type of soy sauce that's 100% gluten-free, is the only reason I go with that. Any soy product, don't fear soy. Some people fear soy as being estrogen promoting, which it's not. But I would encourage you to go organic because it is a heavy GMO product, meaning it's going to be used quite often with a lot of glyphosate pesticides, which will leach into your food. And just like the microplastics, puts a burden on our antioxidant detoxification systems that we don't need. We want to support those, not put a burden on them. All right? Right here is also where you could add a little bit of chili flakes or chili garlic paste. You could add some rice wine vinegar for another flavor. If, as it says in the directions here, you can either, I like to go right in the middle of the pan, or you could push everything to the side of the pan. And we're going to incorporate our eggs in here. Sorry for the banging if that's a little loud in the camera. Just a dab of oil in the bottom to help our eggs not stick. Alright? We don't need to add any salt or pepper to this dish necessarily. The soy sauce adds that sodium. Alright? And then we're just going to let the egg cook for a minute. And then I'm going to mix it all around in the rice. And we're done. Truly a 15-minute meal that, if you're using cooked proteins left over from the day before, it's going to be even less. Alright? Just really love the way egg coats this rice dish. I love an egg on everything. I'll put egg on dinner if you let me. But, alright. So we're just going to let that cook for a minute. Almost the residual heat. As that egg starts to disperse and coat everything, the residual heat from all the ingredients will cook that egg. So you don't have to worry about cooking this too long. Alright. That's it, folks. That's it. That's our 15-minute pork fried rice. If you want to throw some extra veggies in there, you could. If you want to top it with some sesame seeds, scallions, cilantro, basil, toasted nuts, just like we did with our green curry yesterday, that'll do it. Enjoy this dinner. Happy cooking, and I hope you're learning to love food again.